in Lagos State. They are building another seaport in Lagos State. Lagos State, where they already have a seaport that is very congested, and people are complaining of the congestion in Lagos. Now they're opening another flank in Lagos State. But in Biafra land, there is no functional seaport as far as I know. We are supposed to have a seaport in Iguacha. We are supposed to have a seaport in Warri. The River Niger is supposed to be drained, and we have a seaport there. But nobody cares. These people that are parading themselves here and there as politicians, parading themselves as lawmakers, cannot fight for one seaport in Biafra land. They can't fight for it. They can't go for it. The Oduduwa politicians have gotten second seaport in Lagos State. That same Lagos where they are complaining. The Lagos State government was complaining that the place is so congested. They have now opened another flank in Lagos State, another seaport. A new one is open. Do you blame them? I don't blame them. The blame shouldn't go to the Oduduwa people. If they can have as many, even if they can be able to get 20, let them have it. What about you? What about you from Biafra land? What are your lawmakers doing? What are your lawmakers doing? You don't have a seaport. You don't have an airport. And yet, you people are the ones that are using those things most. Talk about the seaport. I can bet you that 75% of the goods that are coming in the seaport is owned by the Biafran people. 75%, if not more, are owned by the Biafran people. And yet, there is no single seaport in Biafra land. The Northerners have even succeeded in getting a dry port in Kaduna, a place where there is no water. They got a dry port in Kaduna. Every man to himself. Every region is fighting for himself. That is what it is. Nigeria not being one is not a rocket science for somebody to know. That Nigeria is not one is not a new thing to say. Or everybody now knows it. It is very clear. You can continue to deceive yourself for all I care. That is your business. You can continue to deceive yourself until thy kingdom come. That is your business. But it is very, very clear to everybody that Nigeria is not one and can never be one. Every region is fighting on their own. And I don't blame them. It is high time we blame ourselves. I don't blame them. And because we don't have to continue to blame, that is why autopilot is standing today. That is why Mazen Nandekano is doing the needful to make sure that things change. That is why Mazen Samuel Eba is standing his ground. To pursue an agenda that will change our life forever and ever. If we do not take this step we are taking now, we will remain slave forever. If we don't fight for our freedom, total and absolute freedom, we will remain slave forever. And the freedom we are asking for, election can never give you that freedom. Politics cannot give you that freedom. The same politicians who cannot, within that same enclave they claim that they are part of it, they cannot be able to fight for one single seaport in the whole of Biafra land. Biafra land, where we have deep seas, we have water everywhere, and yet they could not be able to fight and get one seaport in Biafra land. None. And when I'm talking about seaport, I don't mean a place, or I don't mean a garden, I don't mean the port where they used to steal our oil and whatever. When it comes to stealing our mineral resources, they can be able to have a port to steal it. But when it comes to establishing a seaport to render services to people, they stop it. But when it comes to the stealing of the oil, they have a port where they anchor and steal oil. All manner of ships come to the Biafra land. All manner of ships come to Biafra land to take oil and go. So it is very clear that if there is any place that you can have seaport, it should be in the southeast. There's no doubt that you can have a seaport in that area. In Biafra land. But they have refused it. And these same people you are hoping to give you a change, none of them were able to fight for it and get it. They are not even talking. They are not even discussing about it. Each time you hear them talk about it, it's just to woo you and to confuse you. When they talked about draining River Niger to build a port, they drained and they brought a clip and put a jack there, and that was the end of it. They continue to play these games. The kind of politicians we have in Biafra land are people who have sold their soul to the devil, and they will never ever do anything to favor anybody from the old southeastern region. Never. That is why the caliphate choose them carefully. You see why we must not participate in the election. Every single politician you see in Biafra land is chosen by the caliphate. They don't depend on your vote. They don't depend on your vote. Including your local government chairman. He doesn't depend on your vote. That is why they will never defend you. That is why they will sell you out at any given opportunity. That is why they will collect money and call the military to kill you. That is why they will burn your homes, destroy your lives without minding. That is why they will sponsor a ransom against you. That is why they will sponsor your kidnap any place you are. They don't care. That is how dangerous the politicians in Biafra land are. For you to break this change, it needs extraordinary action. And that is what we are standing for. That is why Master Simon Ekpa is doing what he's doing. For you to be able to break this chain, it needs an extraordinary action. You can never break this chain by election. The same election that have made sure that every of your representatives is appointed by the caliphate. Believe it or not, that is the obvious truth. Very hard to believe, but that is it. They appoint up to your local government chairman. That is why you see what is happening today. Even when the voice of Biafrans is loud, that they need a referendum, nobody seems to be talking about it. I can tell you that the people that want a referendum in Biafra land is more than 90%. And these are people who are telling us about democracy. That is about number. In the southeast, majority, they want their freedom. They are asking for referendum. Ask yourself, why is it that the lawmakers are not keyed in to make this case for their people, who they claim to represent? They will not. Because the template they are using is being given to them from Sokoto. That is the template they are playing. Every other region in that zoological republic is fighting for themselves. And I don't blame them. Our Oduduwa brothers are doing better for themselves, fighting for themselves, getting as much resources and establishment and development as they can for themselves. You don't blame them. If they want to get 1,000 seaport in Lagos, I don't blame them. They fought for it and they get it. What are your own lawmakers doing? What are your own lawmakers doing? All the lawmakers in Biafra land, what are they doing? Your governors, what are they doing? In Biafra land, what are they doing? And if you think that anything is going to change, remember, somebody like Goodluck Jonathan was there. He's a Biafran. Was he able to bring even an airport? He was able to bring an airport to his land. He wasn't able to bring any airport to Biafra land. Goodluck was there. Up to today, Port Harcourt Airport, they just call it international. It's not international. No flight comes there from abroad. They will always transit from either from Abuja or from Lagos. Goodluck was there. If you have an international airport in Iguacha, it's going to favor him. It is his own. You have a seaport, he's going to benefit from it. He brings development. But he was there. Did he change it? He never changed it. He never talked about it. He never even mentioned it. In his own village, go, what development did he bring? Nothing. But today, go to Daura. Daura has become a small London. Daura, where the late Muhammad Buhari came from, he has taken everything over there. Universities, these are people who don't go to school. many ministries, housing, without minding. Building every goddamn thing he had to build in that Daura. Daura all of a sudden has become a big city. Daura that doesn't produce anything. Nothing at all. But Goodluck was in power. His own region produces the wealth of the country. He has the right to build anything he wants to build in his region, yet he never did. He was busy establishing in the north, which was the template they gave him. And it has always been like that. It's either you do it, or you will never smell the power. And this is exactly the same thing this London boy is coming to do, Peter Obi, to read the caliphate have already handed him the template. They have handed him the template already. And he has signed up to it. And they are watching. Even though they don't even trust him. Because they know he's a Biafran. They don't trust him. The Fulani man can never trust a Biafran. It doesn't matter. Including these idiots that they are using. They will never ever trust them. Even as the P2B. They gave him the template. He took it. And they build their foundation waiting for him what is going to happen. They are not hoping on him. They are still strategizing on different sections on how to be able to maneuver. They are making their heavy plan that if in case they could not succeed their plan or there is an uproar in their plan and don't succeed, they will now remind him of his template. Are you ready to play the template? Of course, he will say yes. And when he stays there for donkey years doing nothing, you will now come back again and you begin to cry. That is how bad it is. There is never, I saw, there was one man who claimed to be a reverend father I saw was talking trash, talking all manner of trash, talking to someone else to do this and do that, talking trash. This is a man who was talking, in his speech, he said he does not support the Constitution. You don't support the Constitution. How are you going to bring the Constitution down? He never told us. All he knows that Constitution is bad. Constitution is bad. We will not use Constitution. It's bad. How are you going to bring down this Constitution? How? He agrees that the Nigerian foundation is faulty. He agrees that it's a faulty foundation. That the Constitution, as long as they are using it, nothing good is going to come out. He confessed it. At the same time, in that same video, he's telling Master Simon Ekpa to allow election to hold in Biafra land. The only way you can truncate that very constitution is to stop the election. That is one of the major ways to destroy their constitution. Stop the election. If you want to change the constitution through their what's so-called a House of Rep or whatever you call them, if you want to change it through their lawmakers, it is impossible. I don't know why it is difficult for people to understand. And these people claim to be intelligent, they claim to be educated, they claim to know all. And yet, I don't know why it is important, it's difficult for them to understand that changing the constitution of Nigeria is much more difficult than breaking up Nigeria. I don't know why it is hard for them to understand. That for you to change the constitution of Nigeria, it is much more easy to go for the breakup than for you to go for change of constitution. A child should be able to know that. When you look at the people you have in the House Assembly, you and I know very well that if you want to change that constitution, it's not going to be one person standing up and going to make a decision. As they claim to be practicing democracy, there will be a vote. Then the majority carries the vote. What vote do you have to win in the House for the constitution to be changed? What? You can never, ever have that vote in this planet Earth. Whenever you talk about constitution, they will talk about amendment. And every amendment will always be on their own terms. Goodluck Jonathan was able to conduct a constitutional conference. And a full agreement was reached. Written down. It was handed over to late Muhammadu Buhari. Did he accept it? He said it pop and plain that he doesn't have anything to do with it. He dumped it. And they said dust is going to kill it. And yet, people are still here today thinking of constitution. Freedom doesn't come cheap. If you are not ready to go for your freedom, you have accepted the slavery. Good for you. Go on with your slavery, and please stop mentioning the name of those who are going for their freedom. We know how difficult it is. We know it's a strong task. We know it's a difficult task, and we have chosen that path. Allow us to go along with it. It is not mandatory that everybody must come and fight for the freedom. No. Freedom in most countries where you see it is being fought by few people, and those few people end up getting the freedom. You don't wait for the whole people to key in. Stop lying to yourself. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. Stop lying yourself. To change the constitution of Nigeria, it is much more difficult to change the constitution of Nigeria than for you to talk of a breakup. Breaking Nigeria up is easy than you talking about changing constitution. And I saw that man after talking. You preach, you don't want constitution, the constitution is faulty. You see them on their conventional media. That has been their national anthem. Go to the conventional media. It is their national anthem. They sing it, they sing it. Every single one of them agree that Nigeria is a fraudulent nation. That the foundation is fraudulent. That the country do not even have a constitution. They believe it. They confess it. They say it. But what is good? How are you going to make things right? None of them has the balls to make that move. None of them have the balls to make that move. The highest move that have been made was the one that Jonathan made. The Constitutional Conference. Things were written. People made suggestions of what they wanted. Was it implemented? No way. This was something that was done willingly. People came out and said their opinion, including Northerners. We are a part of the Constitutional Conference. It was discussed in the open. Everybody spoke their mind. A conclusion was reached. But as usual, just like they did during the time of Aburi, after discussing with them, they will go to their slave master, and their slave master will tell them, do not sign up for this. If you sign up for this, these people are going to be better. Just like they did in Aburi. After discussing with Gowon, Gowon came back and changed his mind after discussing with his slave master. Goodluck Jonathan went ahead, called the whole Nigerians. Every single nation was involved, contributed to that very constitutional conference. And they reached an agreement. What happened? It was thrown to the dustbin. Another opportunity lost. And it will continue to happen. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't matter the angle you're coming from. It doesn't matter how it doesn't matter what you wish. This very madness will continue until Nigeria breaks into pieces. The only thing that can stop the enslavement of the indigenous people in that contraption is what? Disintegration. That is the only solution. I say again, it is much more easier to break up Nigeria than to change the constitution. It is much more easy to break up the zoo than to change Nigeria. And that is why the IPOB, autopiloted by Chukwu Okikabema himself, under the spokesmanship of Master Simon Ekpa, and on the list of members, have chosen that path, that sincere and faithful path that will lead us to absolute and total freedom from this captivity. And there is nothing any man can do about it. You can continue to wish for something better. You can continue to make your wishes without any effort. You can continue to choose your easy path. That is your business. But I beg you, since you are not for your freedom, you have chosen the path of slavery, do not stand on the way of those who are going for their freedom. Do not preach against them. Do not attack them. Do not make yourself a willing tool in the hand of the enemy against somebody who is looking for his freedom. Because if you do, Chukwu Okokabiyama will not allow you to go free. You will definitely pay in this lifetime, not in the life after. You will pay in this lifetime and even in the life after. Today you see the attack that is coming on our spokesperson, Master Simon Ekpa. What crime has he committed? Because he has chosen the sincere path of freedom. Because he has chosen the path of freedom. That is why you see them attacking him right, left, and center, spiritually and physically, from all angles, including his own people that is supposed to protect him. They are fighting him. Fellow members, fellow Biafrans, fellow members of IPOB today have taken up the job of the caliphate to stop our freedom. They have become a willing tool in the hand of the enemy. They cook up all manner of lies, cook up all manner of propaganda. Every single organization they have formed has been for their own selfish interest and for their own selfish upliftment. When you see the kind of statement and the issue right, left, and center, you begin to see that these people have been taken over by the devil. That is why somebody will come out and say that Master Simon Ekpa have collected a bribe of $1 million. You know he collected a bribe of $1 million. From who? He never mentioned. And whoever he collected it from is with you. If he collected it with you in Nigeria there, the person now you are claiming that he collected the money from is you there with you, contesting. You didn't arrest him. You didn't talk about him. And you are telling that Master Simon Ekpa collected bribe. And these idiots that are saying that Master Simon Ekpa collected bribe of 1 million have forgotten that we have started fighting for this very freedom of Biafra before even their so-called people become embroiled. The struggle for Biafra started in the realm of Mazi Naniga since 2011 up to date. Since 2011. The no election issue have been said several times. It's not the first time we have said it. Even when Peter Obi was trying to contest with the Fulani man, it was because of that same Peter Obi that Mazi Naniga called off the no election. After they must have agreed, after they must have agreed on restructuring, they agreed that every zone will be on their own. After reaching that agreement, that are going to implement Aburi Accord. They signed up for Aburi Accord. And Mazi Naniga called off the election. They no election. And what did they do? As their normal strategy, they went ahead. Because the caliphate cannot afford. They cannot afford to see you be free. They don't want to see. You heard Ahmadu Bello say it very clear that when you take a Biafran and put him in a labor camp, he will emerge as a hero. That is their problem. They don't want you to be up. They want you to stay down, be a slave. Each time they come out and claim of discovering different kinds of mineral resources on their own side, they claim they discovered oil, they claim they discovered minerals. What then are you waiting for? Why don't you focus on your region? Develop your region and let